Picking up where we left off, now that we know about data types, let's talk about how they relate to MySQL. MySQL supports all of the common data types and categories mentioned, as well as having specific categories for spatial types, and it has recently added the JSON data type, so it should cover almost any data type you're likely to have. Beyond that, it also allows for more efficient storage by supporting size-limited types. An example of this can be seen in the different scales for integers, which range from the tiny int with a max number of 255 all the way to a big int, which can store numbers of over 18 quintillion. This allows you to only allocate as much space as you will actually need. Now let's talk about how choosing a data type affects what you can do with the data. We have already mentioned several ways that the data type can affect the space used as well as your processing efficiency, but let's talk about something more tangible. That is, how the type affects what you can do with the data. For example, it is possible to store a date as an int or a string instead of as an actual date, and as long as all you are doing is storing and retrieving the date, that's fine. But let's say you then wanted to order the dates so that you had them from oldest to newest. Let's take a look at what happens in the chart below. When told to order the date, the system is going to order the integer by pure numeric value, while it orders the string alphabetically. Both of these fail to give you the date from oldest to newest, but the correct types allows for getting the correct dates in the right order. So now that we know how important the types can be, let's go over how to choose the best type for you. To do that, there are three primary things to consider. First, think about what you're going to be storing. That includes both what it is as well as its length. If all you're storing are small numbers, then there's no reason to use a string or a big int. That just limits functionality or wastes space. Also, consider how important it is to keep the data exactly as entered, or if it's okay for it to be converted in some way. Next, think about how you may want to organize or report on the data. If you're storing a name and a date, and you sometimes want it ordered alphabetically and sometimes you want it ordered by date, then you're going to need two separate data type containers. But if you know you will always need it in an alphabetical list with both name and date present, then it may be okay to store them together in a single string. Be careful though, as it may be too late if you decide later on you need them separate. Lastly, remember that this is a relational database, and as such, the data may be connecting to other data. It's always much easier to connect and filter data if both parts are the same type. Well, that's it for this lesson. Next time, we will go over how to install some of the programs you will need in order to use MySQL. Brought to you by CreativeOnlineSchool.com.